Så att nu är det du som håller världsrekordet.
Ja, känslan går inte att beskriva. Det känns som jag liksom hade... ja, där tar vi bort.
Ja. Jag måste ha det nu.
Det kändes som jag kunde gå på vatten liksom. Jag fick sån känsla av att jag kan göra vad som helst i världen.
Miguel спасеринки Масира Папасико Тапятека Севико.
Как говорю, Папасико, du går ner, конечно.
Vad ska jag berätta? Jag vet ingenting.
Med alla de träffresultat som finns så är det svårt att tro att du inte har något att berätta.
Visst var jag snäll.
Jag har ingen aning. Jag har aldrig i livet har träffat den här flickan.
In June 2015, a 17-year-old girl named Lisa Holm, who worked weekends at a cafe, mysteriously disappeared after finishing her shift. She texted her father around 6:23 p.m., saying she was leaving work, but moments later he received a call from her phone with no answer, only the sound of background voices. After waiting for her to come home and unable to reach her, Lisa's father became alarmed and began searching for her. He found her scooter parked outside the cafe with its keys in the ignition and helmet left hanging, uncharacteristic behavior for Lisa, which suggested something had gone wrong. The cafe owner and Lisa's family also joined the search, but by the time they called the police, Lisa had still not been found. The police launched a large-scale search, discovering several of Lisa's personal items, such as a broken phone and receipts, along a dirt road near the cafe. These findings pointed to the possibility of abduction, and the search intensified, becoming the largest in Sweden's history, with hundreds of volunteers joining. The police received several tips, including one about a suspicious man who spoke English and was seen near the cafe, and another witness who had observed two men across the street from the cafe on the day of Lisa's disappearance. During the search, Lisa's father made further discoveries along the dirt road, including her driver's license and house keys, suggesting that she had been taken down the road. Later, a friend of Lisa's father found a pair of earrings in a barn near the cafe, which were identified as belonging to Lisa. A more thorough investigation of the barn revealed human feces, which forensic experts suggested might indicate the abductor's nervousness during the crime. This led the police to focus on the possibility that the perpetrator had used the barn to hide Lisa. The investigators soon focused on an old trailer hidden in tall grass. Though it looked unused for years, signs suggested it had been accessed by recently flattened grass and strands caught under the door. Upon opening it, a wave of decay hit them. Inside, they found lockers once used as changing rooms. One locker, the only one left open, contained Lisa's body hidden under old clothes. Despite the locker's small size, her body had been forced inside. Lisa had a rope around her neck and tape over her head. Her clothes were disturbed, but forensic examination found no signs of sexual assault. Medical experts confirmed she died from strangulation. The discovery shocked Sweden, where such brutal crimes are extremely rare. As media outlets broadcast the tragedy nationwide, something eerie surfaced. A YouTube video titled 13, posted 13 days before her death. The channel's name had been changed to Lisa Holm, stirring conspiracy theories. However, it was just a cruel prank. Someone had edited the channel name and video title after the murder. Back at the farm, forensic teams uncovered disturbing evidence in the barn. In a room with a view of the cafe where Lisa worked, they found 15 traces of semen and feces, all matched to Naris. It appeared he had been watching the female employees and pleasuring himself. In another room, once used to store cow's milk, they found a dusty pipe except for a clean section that perfectly matched the rope used to strangle Lisa. Blood and rope fibers linked both Lisa and Naris to that exact spot. DNA was also found on Lisa's clothing, including her underwear, which further implicated him. Police pieced together the timeline. Naris likely lured Lisa into his car under the pretense of needing help with GPS directions. Kind-hearted and helpful, she may have agreed. Though the evidence mounted, Naris continued to claim innocence. His wife and brother were released for lack of evidence and fled back to Lithuania. Naras tried to explain his DNA by saying he worked in the barn. His alibi fell apart when investigators re-questioned his brother, who finally confessed that Naras had been out during the time of the murder. The brother revealed that Naras came home around 7:30 p.m., covered in dirt, and immediately washed his clothes. 4 months after Lisa's body was discovered in the isolated barn, the trial of Naras finally began. It was one of the most closely watched criminal proceedings in recent Swedish history. The defense presented a complicated narrative. They admitted that Naras's DNA had been found at the scene, but claimed it wasn't incriminating. According to their argument, Naras had worked in the barn weeks before the murder, and any DNA evidence could have easily been left behind during that time. But the prosecution quickly dismantled this theory, pointing out that while DNA on tools or surfaces in the barn might be explained away, DNA found inside Lisa's underwear was not. Desperate to cast doubt, the defense went further. In a shocking twist, they suggested that Naras's younger brother, who had a known history of protecting him, might have planted the evidence to frame someone else or confuse investigators. There was no logical explanation for how the brother could have obtained and planted such specific DNA evidence, especially without anyone noticing. Witness testimonies, forensic analysis, and inconsistencies in Naras's alibi all pointed to one conclusion. In the end, the jury reached a unanimous verdict: guilty. Naras was sentenced to life in prison, to be served in a high-security Swedish facility. For many, the verdict brought some relief, but not closure. The horror of Lisa's death still lingered. In 2017, a surprising development occurred. Naras petitioned to be transferred to Lithuania, his country of origin. Lithuanian prisons were notoriously harsher, with fewer privileges and tougher conditions. Yet the Swedish government approved the transfer not out of sympathy, but to reduce the financial burden on taxpayers. Once in Lithuania, Naras wasted no time. He filed an appeal, arguing that his sentence was too harsh. To the shock of many, a Lithuanian court temporarily reduced his life sentence to 15 years. The decision caused outrage, both in Sweden and among Lisa's family. It felt like a betrayal of justice. Fortunately, the reprieve was short-lived. The higher court overturned the ruling, reinstating his original sentence. But fate had its own final judgment in store. Naras was rushed toward the nearest hospital, but his injuries were too severe. He died en route. Just like that, the man at the center of one of Sweden's darkest crimes was gone. Questions still swirl around his wife. Investigators long believed she had provided Naras with a false alibi, lying to protect him in the early stages of the investigation. But despite their suspicions, the police were never able to prove her involvement beyond a reasonable doubt. She was never charged. As for the younger brother, his role remains ambiguous. While some believe he may have helped Naras cover up aspects of the crime, there was no direct evidence linking him to the murder itself. Lisa's death became more than just a personal tragedy. It was a national trauma. Her face appeared on candlelit vigils, her story told in countless news reports and documentaries. A bright, innocent girl, her life was brutally cut short. And though her killer was ultimately held accountable, the pain she left behind never faded. In the years that followed, the case sparked conversations about justice, prison systems, and the limits of forgiveness. Lisa's memory lives on, not just in the hearts of those who loved her, but as a somber reminder of the fragility of life and the deep scars that violence leaves behind.